Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Craig Action for DS Sports as always, and we're finally back after a week or two off. It's been a really busy couple of weeks. I'd filmed the video to then try and put up on the channel, but it didn't quite work out, didn't quite have enough time to get it round to it, and by the time I got round to making my matchday 3 video and trying to put it up, it was about Friday or Saturday, so I thought it was maybe a little bit pointless, and so I've got a couple of days off the weekend now. I can enjoy international football. I'm off to Scotland versus Belgium on Monday, hopefully, with a few of my pals. So we'll be looking ahead to the Scotland v Russia in another video. We're going to look at who we could potentially see starting, who I think would be the best formation. Sorry, what formation I'd like to see played, which personnel I'd like to see in them. Excuse me, and yeah, so we'll look at that in a different video. We'll also probably make a video recapping Scotland v Russia and looking ahead to Scotland v Belgium and what to expect. But before then, we're going to round up matchday 4 of the Scottish Premiership and indeed the other leagues in Scotland very, very briefly. Look at where everyone is in the table before this international break. So remember guys to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, comment anything that you're unsure about or anything that you'd just like to discuss, maybe even start a little debate, hopefully get it going. So yeah, it would be a really good guys if you could do all of those. Remember to follow us on Twitter, it's at DSSportsYT. Not a lot of content going up at the moment, but I'm hoping that will change in the coming weeks when maybe more time becomes available. But anyway guys, we're going to go straight into it. There's only one way to start, one place to start. We're going to come to that in just a moment. As I say, there's one place to start. We're going to leave that to the end. It was the last game played of the weekend. It is of course Old Farm, but before then we'll go for the Saturday fixtures in the top flight. It was a very interesting time, a lot of funny results kicking about. We're going to start at the very top, we're going to go to the very north. It is Aberdeen 3, Ross County 0. A very easy win for Aberdeen. Well, Ross County did come on to a bit of a game at the end. Greg Lee gave the Dons the lead after 34 minutes before a Sam Cosgrove penalty. Sam Cosgrove again in amongst the goals. Ryan Hedges just 5 minutes after the break, making it 3-0. Billy Mackay then missed a penalty straight after that, after a foul by Funso Ojo. But in the end, after Ross County put up a little bit of a fight, it was an easy 3 points for Derek McInnes and his team. They move on to 7 points after 4 games. They've really got their season going into pretty much safely into the top 6 as it stands at the moment. So a relatively decent start all in all. It then goes to we then go to Tynecastle, and well, there is a little bit of trouble brewing at Tynecastle in the capital, especially in the maroon half of the capital. It was Hearts 2, Hamilton Academical 2. Hearts pegged back twice in this one. Sean Clare giving the home side the lead before George Oakley scored the first of his double just after the break. Shortly after that though, Christoph Berra gave Hearts their second league of the game before George Oakley again 15 minutes later, 17 minutes from time, got his second of his 2 goals, and it was a much deserved point in the end. Hearts did start off well, first half they played well, got their half-time lead, but were pegged back twice like I say, and well, very unpleasant scenes after that with the Hearts supporters very much displaying their displeasure with the performance, and well, they're only separated from the bottom of the table by St Johnstone. We'll come to them in a moment. So yeah, it's been a torrid time. 2 points out of 4 for Hearts and Craig Levein. Yeah, it's they'll need the international break to regroup for sure. But we'll go on. Tony McIlroy Arena, Livingston 2, St Mirren 1. Close game there. It was Alan Lithgow and Lyndon Dykes who gave them a 2-0 lead just before the hour mark. Goals, as I said, at half time for them, before Kyle McGuinness got a goal shortly after the second goal, shortly after the hour. And it was a narrow win for Livingston, and they're up to 3rd as it stands. They're a point behind Rangers. We'll come to that in a moment as to why Rangers have dropped back to Livingston. It was an easy win for Motherwell. They would run out 3-0 home winners against Hibernian. Hibernian they're also in the same kind of boat as Hearts. Both sides in the capital really struggling for early season form, especially under Paul Heckingbottom, who was it's almost like an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type effect that's happened there. Coming mid-season, they've played really well up until the end of the season, and then they started this campaign very, very poorly. Hibs and United have down south, obviously, with Solskjaer as I relate to there. Sherwin Seedorf, Leon Donnelly and Jermaine Hilton with goals for Motherwell, and an easy win for Stephen Robinson's men. As Motherwell go into the top 6 for the first time. Maybe not for the first time actually. No, I don't think it is for the first time. I might be wrong. Like I say, hadn't really looked back at the table. Can't even remember what the table looked like before the weekend started. But Motherwell, with a very easy win there. St Johnstone, again, it is their second defeat in 4. They remain on 2 points and are rooted to the bottom of the table after that. After this defeat against Kilmarnock, it was a 1-0 home defeat. Didn't really look like St Johnstone really got going. It was a very even game, but as soon as Stephen O'Donnell scored 5 minutes from half time, apparently it looked a very scrappy goal, and it was certainly what I heard live as well, from a couple of sources. After Stephen O'Donnell scored, it didn't look like St Johnstone were going to get back in the game, and so another defeat for them, and from there, but a couple of good loan signings for St Johnstone. Jason Holt and Anthony Ralston coming in from either side of the Old Firm. That's good. That can only be good for them, along with Stephen May as well. Get him getting his second debut for the club. But yeah, very good stuff going on there. The Old Firm on Sunday, and Celtic, after losing twice at Ibrox, they get the win in this one. Also on Edouard just after the half hour, and Johnny Hayes 3 minutes into added time saw the Hoops take the spoils in the first Old Firm of the season. John Jones with a pretty horrible looking challenge, getting himself sent off there. So Celtic now, after that, they go to 3 points clear at the top of the table, ahead of Rangers, who are 1 point ahead of Livingston, who are 1 point ahead of Aberdeen and Motherwell, with 4 teams on 4 points, including Kilmarnock, Hamilton, Ross County and Hibs. St Mirren on 3, and Hearts and St Johnstone, the bottom 2, on 2 points. Now we go into the Championship, and what a Friday night it was. Inverness coming out 5-0 winners against Morton. It was only 1-0 at half time after Jason Keynes gave the Highland capital side the lead after just before the break. He then scored his second a minute after the break, before Jordan White scored. Nicky Cannon missed a penalty at 3-0. Cole Donaldson and Nikolai Todorov getting the goals there in a 5-0 thumping. The Dundee derby, and what an entertaining one this was. 6-2 it finished to United, with Callum Butcher and Lewis Aperi scoring either side of Kane Hemmings' first goal in his second stint with the club. And then it was Callum Butcher who made it it was Lon Shanklin scored a penalty, and then Callum Butcher made it 4-1 before half time, before Ian Harkes and Cameron Smith scoring on either side of Andrew Nelson scoring in the second half to make it 6-2, and the spoils in the local derby going to the Tangerines. Arbroath got back-to-back wins in the Championship. They move into the top half of the table. They move into the playoff places as it stands, quite amazingly, after Luke Donnelly getting the only goal in a 1-0 home win against Dunfermline. Brilliant result for them. Partick Thistle lost out 2-3 to Ayr United. It was Stuart Bannigan and Shea Gordon scoring on the side of Luke McCown's opener, before both the goal scorers got themselves sent off in the second half, or actually Shea Gordon got himself sent off immediately after scoring. Quite remarkable stuff. A terrible challenge giving him an early bath. Stephen Kelly ended up scoring Chris Doolan scoring against his former club. I think that's his first goal for Ayr United. Like I say, against his former club, and Stephen Kelly also getting one as well. The winner that was there, Ayr United moving themselves to second place behind Dundee United, who still remain perfect after that win in the derby. Alan Troughton giving Alloa a 1-0 win against Queen of the South. Queen of the South have started to struggle yet again. Only 2 points for them in their opening games. It's a little bit better than Partick Thistle, who only have one after such a promising pre-season, but nonetheless Alan Troughton giving Alloa Athletic their first win of the season. So like I say, Dundee United are on top. They're on 12 points with Ayr United, Partick Thistle and Arbroath not far behind them. Morton, Dundee, Alloa, Queen of the South and Finland Partick Thistle propping up the table with a numerous amount of points respectively. So an interesting one there. We then move on to League One. It was an interesting match there. Adrian Falkirk finished 0-0. It was a relatively drab affair there, but that's nonetheless a surprising point and a very good one for Adrianans if you're certainly a Diamonds fan there. Falkirk starting to stumble a wee bit. They got their big home win against Dumbarton, but a couple of draws. That defeat against Clyde as well, proving to be not quite so good for them. So starting to falter a wee bit. But nonetheless, still a point, still keeps them in touch at the top, and yep, still really to get going. And it was a Fife derby, and East Fife ran out the winners. It was 4-2. It was Anton Dowds, Chris Higgins, Ryan Wallace, and Scott Agnew all with the goals, as Lewis Allen early after 10 minutes gave Raith Rovers the lead, but James Gullen scored to make it 3-2 to give them hope. 6 minutes from time before Scott Agnew's injury time sealer gave East Fife the spoils in the derby. It was 0-0 finished at Station Park. It was Forfar Athletic against Clyde. Not really a lot happening there. Very even game, and the points were shared. Forfar as well starting to falter a wee bit. They haven't won since that. They haven't won since that game against Stranraer. Obviously, League Cup defeat to Livingston, followed up by a defeat against Peterhead, and now this point against Clyde. Obviously not a great run of form, but they do have that game in hand against East Fife next Saturday at home, which promises to be an entertaining one during the international break, so we'll see how that works out. Montrose won Dumbarton 2, back-to-back wins for Dumbarton. I think that's 3 in a row actually since their 6-0 thumping against Falkirk. Isaac Lane scored twice in the first half before Blair Lyons got the goal back from Montrose, but nonetheless Jim Duffy's men getting their third win in a row, and they move to joint top of the table with Raith Rovers after Raith Rovers' defeat. Peterhead got yet another win, back-to-back wins for them after the win against Falkirk, against Forfar the week before. Stranraer 1, Peterhead 2. Scott Brown getting 2 goals in the first half before Rory McAllister was surprisingly sent off just before the end, and David Dangana got a goal back, which was only a mere consolation. So like I say, Raith Rovers and Dumbarton 9 points each, Falkirk, East Fife and Peterhead all on 7, Forfar and Airdrie on Falkirk, East Fife and Peterhead all on 8, Forfar and Airdrie only on 7, so 2 points separating top 7, with Clyde on 4, so Clyde on 5, Stranraer on 4 and Montrose with only the 1 point to their names so far. And now we'll move on to League 2, and it was Albion who came from behind to defeat Stirling Albion, a 10-man Albion defeating a 9-man Stirling Albion. Quite remarkable really. Josh Peters had earlier given Stirling Albion the lead before Kevin Nicholl and Paul McLean got sent off a couple of minutes either side at half time. Declan Burns scored a penalty which resulted from Paul McLean's red card, with Smart Osdolor, what a name that is, getting the winner just after the hour, with Sean Fagan getting sent off for 2 yellows for Albion Rovers 5 minutes before the break. So an entertaining one there. Aaron and Stennismuir shared the points at Galabank. Mark McGuigan giving them the lead just before the half hour. Christian Nadie scoring 2 minutes later as the sides cancelled each other out in that one. Cove Rangers, if we get another win, brilliant run going for them. They're still undefeated in their 5 games, 4 wins and a draw it is for them now. Their only blemish being the 4-4 draw against Albion. Daniel Higgins, Matthew Smith and Fraser Fivey all getting the goals in a 3-0 win at home to Queen's Park at the Balmoral Stadium. Cowdenbeath and Brechin City, it was 2-1 to Cowdenbeath at Central Park after Ryan McCord gave Brechin the lead inside 2 minutes. 4 minutes later, Ashley Thomas equalised for Cowdenbeath, and Fraser Mullen scored the eventual winner in that one with a penalty 3 minutes before the break. So still only the 1 win to the name for sorry, I've forgotten Brechin's nickname. Don't know why I've forgotten this. Doesn't matter. The Glebe Park side, of course, still under a vacant manager. Still don't think they've brought anyone in yet, but hopefully things might get better for them. Not looking great for Brechin, as we've previously said before, but anyway, it was a brilliant, entertaining thriller at Borough Briggs. It was Elgin City 3, Edinburgh City 3. It was Craig Thompson and Stephen Bronski giving Stephen Bronski own goal, should I say, that gave Edinburgh City a 2-0 half-time lead before Elgin City came back with quick fire goals from Shane Sutherland, Kane Hester, and Shane Sutherland again gave Elgin City a 3-2 lead. It looked like the comeback was complete, and it looked like 3 points were staying at Elgin, but Craig Thompson penalty 3 minutes from time meant that Edinburgh City levelled the scores and the points were shared. So as we said before, Cove Rangers 5 undefeated games, 4 wins and a draw, 13 points for them at the top of the table. Edinburgh City on 10, Cowdenbeath on 9, so a really good start for them. Queen's Park and Annan on 8, Albion Rovers on 7 after they've slightly faltered the couple of games prior to last weekend. Elgin City on 6, Stennismuir on 5, Brechin City on 3, and Stirling Albion 5 defeats in a row from their 5 games have yet to get off the mark. That rounds up match day 5. It's been a bit of a quick summary. I wanted to try and get through it as much as I can. Obviously international break coming up, so nothing happening this weekend apart from Forth against East Fife and a load of Challenge Cup fixtures as well. All these lower ranked clubs all over the place, including a couple of All Scotland matches as well. So look forward to those, guys. We may well bring you a roundup on the early part of next week. But until then, guys, it's been the roundup of the Scottish Football League. Remember to like the video, comment anything, subscribe to the channel. We'll be looking ahead to the internationals, and it's going to be Scotland against Russia and Belgium. So hopefully we'll look forward to them. Until then, guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys very, very soon.